DIY number 1. Okay, I have these 3 little birdhouses purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go in with the Tuscan red. I wanted this to be sort of like rustic, patriotic decor, and I will be painting this birdhouse here completely in the red color. I thought this was the perfect, it's sort of more like a burgundy, I guess you would say. The next one here, I painted it with Waverly white, and I taped it off a little bit. I'm going to make some stripes using the same Tuscan red color. I'm just going in between where I have it taped off at. My pouncer was just a little bit big for this job, but it's the only one I had on hand. So we made it work. Then I'm going to remove the tape there. See, we got some crisp, clean lines. Well, there was a little place that I had to touch up on, but other than that, I'm turning the houses around and using them toward the back, just so they'll look like a little house. I have these wooden letters that I got from BB Craft, and I just painted them white. I went over them with a blue chalk marker and just gave them like a stitched look. We've got the U. I'm going to be applying the S to this one. And on the little blue house, I lost the footage, but I painted it with royal blue. And with the little white stars, I used a stencil. And I'm going to be putting the A on that one. I think these little birdhouses turned out so cute. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with the Waverly Antique Wax here, and I'm just going to give it a light distressing on all the way around on each one of the houses here. Sorry about that you could hear the cars go by. I live on the highway, and there's really no place for me to go to do the voiceover in complete silence. But, oh well. We'll move on with it. I do that on all 3 of the houses. We're going to go in and do it on the white with the red stripes here. Just paying really close attention to the corners to give it the distressed look. I went a little bit heavy-handed there. I had to go back in and sand some of it down. But here we have them. And I think they turned out just stinking cute. And here's the finished projects right here. And I hope that you enjoy them. Today I'm participating in the 5 Under 5 challenge. This is hosted by Emily from Farm Charm Chic and Missy from Crafty Cove DIY. The guest host this time is Tammi from the Rustic Willow. I have left all 3 of these ladies' channel links in the description box below, as well as the playlist link. And we're going to move on to DIY number 2. Okay, I just painted this little cutting board from the Dollar Tree with the royal blue, and I had this fabric in my stash. I just cut a piece big enough to go along the bottom, and I'm going to be making a pouch for the bottom half. And here I am. I will be adding some glue and closing it up at the bottom as well. And I like, these little DIYs because you can do them for every season, every holiday. You can add to, put inside the little pouches, whatever you would like. I was thinking even if someone wanted to do it for mail, for their mail and maybe hang one by the door, I thought that would be a cute idea as well. Just going in and adding a generous amount of hot glue. Trying to make sure I get it all down securely. Got that done. Now I took these 3 stars from the Dollar Tree. I painted them in white and went around them with a blue chalk marker just to make the faux stitching on it. The 3rd star did not want to cooperate, and didn't want to stick because I had used it on a different project. But we eventually get it to stick down there. Okay, here we go with this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going in and making a simple jute twine bow by wrapping it around my fingers 3 or 4 times, cutting off a little piece to tie it with, pinching it in the middle, and tying it up with a double knot. And I absolutely love these little jute twine bows. I think they're a perfect touch for, you know, any type of a rustic farmhouse decor, anything that you're making. Just adorable. And I'm going to be using just a little bit of a hot glue here to attach it. I decided to place it in the middle of the middle star that's on the top. And I go in, and you'll see here in a second. I have this little beaded handle hanger that I took off of a different project. And I'm just going in with some Waverly Antique Wax and a chipped brush, and just going in and lightly distressing it. Distressing each one of the beads. Because I'm trying to keep it on the rustic feel to each one of these projects. And I'll just be adding some hot glue. And here I am. I'm going to reach over and grab my paintbrush, the end of my paintbrush, to hold it down or to press it down in place. This was a very easy project, but I think it turned out so cute. And I went in and I added some boxwood greenery. And you, like I said, you could either hang it up or you can leave it, you know, for a shelf sitter. DIY number 3. I picked this up at a garage sale for 50 cents. It had these embellishments that look like metal leaves on it, and I wasn't digging that. So I'm going in with the Tuscan Red, and I'm going to give this just a good coat of paint all around the edges. And then I will go in with my sanding block from the Dollar Tree and sand it in different places to try to just rough it up a little bit to give it a little bit of a vintage look. Not vintage, I mean rustic. And I thought this sign was so pretty. I love the, you know, the galvanized word, the welcome, and then I thought it was gorgeous. When I find things like this at a garage sale that I know that I can do something with, if it's not priced too high, I usually pick it up. I got this little round wood piece at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going in with some Waverly Antique Wax and a baby wipe to apply it. And you can see it really soaks up the antique wax, but you can see all the little details of this wood piece, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Around the edges was a little bit difficult because I probably could have sanded down the edges, and I didn't think to do it, so we're just going to do the best we can here with this project. Now what I'm going to do is I made just a regular shoestring bow with some ribbon that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, using just a small amount of glue. I'm going to glue that little ribbon or that little bow to the left top corner of this picture. And I have these little pieces of baby's breath. I wanted to incorporate the color white in this project somewhere, so I just took 3 or 4 pieces of this and glued it into the middle of the little bow. Once again, this is a very easy project. Okay, there's the last piece for that. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some hot glue along the bottom of this little picture, and I'm going to be standing it up on that little piece of wood. I think it turned out so cute. I had to actually go back in and add a little bit more glue because it just didn't want to stay. But I had to press it down, and here's the final reveal for this little project. Like I said, very simple, but I think it's very pretty. DIY number 4. I had these little wooden crates. I went in and I painted Tuscan red, one of them in royal blue, and one of them in Waverly white. I'm going in with some hot glue, and I'm going to be stacking them one on top of the other. I don't know if I should have put the red on the top and made red, white, and blue, but I did it backwards. I put the red on the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter because it still looks patriotic. Now what I have here is I have these stars that I removed from a Dollar Tree sign. And I'm just going to be going in and adding 2 stars to the front of this little box. And I have made some in my other videos that are similar. And I just love these little boxes. Like, there's so much you could do with them. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going in again with the Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm just going to be paying close attention to the stars and the edges. I'm giving it that rustic look here. And I think that's a perfect touch for this little box. It's just what it needed. I was trying to pull off the glue gun, the little strings that's left behind. If you're a crafter, you know how annoying they can be. And there was one chunk right there of the Waverly Antique Wax that came out, like a big chunk. So I had to go in and sand it off. And I got a little heavy-handed there, which I sanded that as well. I went in and I added some boxwood greenery to the top of it. And you'll see it here in just a moment. I'm very pleased with it. Here's the final product, and I hope that you guys like it too. Again, I ask you to bear with me while I'm getting over laryngitis. I'm feeling better each new day. Okay, on to DIY number 5. I have these houses that I purchased through the Valentine's Day. I'm going in with some scrapbook paper purchased from Hobby Lobby. And I messed that one up a little bit, so I just went in with a piece of paper, with an extra piece of scrapbook paper, and filled in where I messed it up at. Going on to the next one, we're just going to do this with the blue one, with the white stars. Using my glue stick for this. It was really, really difficult to trace around it to get the perfect shape. But I made it all work. And I went in and I trimmed everything off. Okay, here's the third piece. This is the one that gave me the most trouble. And what I do is I try to use just my fingernails to just go around and, you know, get the general shape of what I need to cut. It usually works. But this time it was wanting to be difficult. But here it is. Okay. I went in and I wrapped jute twine around it. And I'm making a jute twine bow. I add one on the front of each one of these little houses. And I also go in and distress them with the Waverly Antique Wax. Here I am just trying to straighten the bow out here. And I'll be going in and add just a little bit of hot glue. And that's that. Here's the finished projects. I want to thank you all for stopping by and watching, and you have a blessed and wonderful day.